The Jake Asman Show will begin shortly. Thanks to all these great Patreon members who help support the show. Get your super chats ready. Jake will be here in just a moment. If you love the New York Jets, this is the place to be. And now, the Jake Asman Show.
Hey, before we start the show, just a reminder that if you go to jakeasman.com/drop, we added a bunch of new items in the Jake Asman merch store, including an entire line of clothing for the 4% female demographic. So get your shirts, your hoodies, and much more. Plus, we added shorts, slides, flip-flops, and more, part of our summer drop at jakeasman.com/shop. Thanks to everyone for your support. Ladies and gentlemen, we will start the show by reacting to what Bart Scott and Willie Colon had to say about Aaron Rodgers potentially playing in the preseason against the Giants. It's the Jake Asman Show. Let's hit it and get it started. Man, our Jets are primed for a historic season.
We're here with Charles Gorman. Charles, you're about to get into your Uber, which I called for you specifically to leave Don Jose Mexican restaurant. Give us the breakdown on the night. Did you have fun?
I had a good time, Paul. I'm sorry I couldn't stay for long. My parents wanted me to be home at a certain time. I know I'm a grown-ass man, but their house, their rules. People were very nice. The food is good. Anyways, have a good day and stay healthy and God bless.
Charles, thank you for the time.
Welcome.
Ladies and gentlemen, there he goes. Charles Gorman, everybody. One of one. A legend of our time. Go Jets.
We bleed Jets green each and every day. This is not the same old Jets. We have Aaron freaking Rodgers. We have Garrett Wilson. Let's go. We have Breece Hall. Please subscribe and hit the like button below. Super chat, baby. Cut the line. We have Sauce Gardner. We have Quinnen Williams. The Jets bandwagon is loaded. Now it's time to talk all things New York Jets. It's the Jake Asman Show. Here we go, Jet fans. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm rocking my bucket hat in honor of the summer merch drop, so check that out at jakeasman.com if you want the same one. Lot to talk about with the Jets. Yesterday, Robert Saleh held Aaron Rodgers out of the joint practice against the Washington Commies. And look, we could debate whether or not that's the right move. At the end of the day, as someone who was there, I could tell you I totally understood the decision. Now, Aaron Rodgers wanted to play, which you love, but there's no point in risking Aaron Rodgers' health on a wet field against a team you're not familiar with, against a team that has a really good interior defensive line, right? Daron Payne, Jonathan Allen, and Joe Tippmann, even though he was excellent yesterday, and that's a great sign, he's had some issues with Rodgers snapping the football. The last thing you need with a wet ball is Rodgers running after a ball in a live session and injuring himself on a wet field because of a high snap. So I think Saleh, even though some didn't love it, I can't fault him for being extra cautious with his meal ticket, essentially, in Aaron Rodgers. With that said, I think this now opens up the door for Aaron to play in the preseason. Because remember, the Jets have always said, hey, these joint practices, we're going to see where we're at. We're going to get a feel for where our team's at, kind of treat those joint practices like they're real games. And Rodgers didn't play in the joint practice. So that means there's 2 joint practices left next week against the Panthers, the following week after that against the Giants. And I think depending on what happens in those joint practices, there's a chance for Rodgers, just like he did last year, to once again play in the preseason. If you missed it yesterday, this was Robert Saleh opening the door, of course, for Aaron to actually play in that final game against the Giants.
They're still open to the possibility of Aaron playing against the Giants, that finale?
And either way, like I said, we haven't had final decisions yet at all with regards to the third game. You guys know me. The third game is usually when we like to play our guys, and depending on how today went, how Saturday goes, and then next week's work with the Panthers and the following week with the Giants, I'll make that decision.
There's a chance. It's not
yeah.
There's a chance. There should be a chance. Now, here's the thing. People heard that, and they're like, whoa, Saleh is just making this decision. That's it. It's a collaborative decision. The head coach obviously has the final say, but Aaron Rodgers could go to Robert Saleh and say, I want to play. I feel like I need to play. And if he does that, I think it overrules whatever Saleh's preference was. And I honestly do think at the end of the day, it's a good thing for Aaron Rodgers to get out there and play. I really believe that. You could say, Jake, what if he gets hurt? Well, you know what? He played last year, looked good, and then got hurt on the 4th play of the season anyway. I can't live my life in fear. All right? If he gets hurt, then he gets hurt. It is what it is. He was going to get hurt anyway if that's the case. Because at the end of the day, if Aaron Rodgers, who's going into year 20 in the NFL, year 17 as a starter, if he tells you, hey, I feel like I need this to get my body or my mindset right to start on Monday Night Football against a really good team, a team that was in the Super Bowl last year in San Francisco, then you let him play. And then I think what you have to do if you're going to play Aaron Rodgers in 2 weeks against the Giants is you have to play most of your starters with him. You want to rest Tyron Smith and Breece Hall? I get it, right? Breece didn't play in the preseason last year. Fine. Aaron looked great without him. Tyron Smith, you don't want to play him. I understand it because he's on a reps count. Olu has looked really good. I think you feel comfortable giving Olu an opportunity to be the left tackle in a real game situation with Rodgers at quarterback. No issue with that. Everyone else should play. G-Dub, Lazard, maybe Mike Williams you're extra careful with depending on how he looks when he eventually gets into team drills, possibly next week. But you can't Mark Sanchez the situation, right? If you're going to play Aaron Rodgers, then you got to put him out there with his starting offensive line. It can't be like what Rex did where he put Sanchez out there with backups and he got killed. If you're going to do the dry rehearsal thing, you got to do the whole thing within reason. Now, as far as the starting defense, do they need to play? Probably not, but if they played like they did last year, a drive or two, that's okay. Now, Will Parkinson made this point on the show earlier this week. I think it's a good one. One could argue it might actually be more beneficial for the Jets to play their starters in the Panthers game next week, not just because I'm hosting the most epic watch party for this game that's ever been put together, but because if there is some sort of injury, and obviously if it's not season ending, then you're talking about, an extra week to get ready before that Niners game on Monday night. Gives you an extra week of recovery if there is, let's say, someone hurts a hamstring and has to miss 2 weeks or rolls an ankle. Then maybe you play your starters against the Panthers because the quality of opponent is not as good. Panthers are not a good team. They were the worst team in football last year. You play the Giants, that game's a little more chippy than normal because of the New York rivalry. If the Giants are going to play some of their starters in that game, which they might, that's a really good defensive line you're facing with Thibodeau and Brian Burns and obviously Dexter Lawrence, who's one of the best defensive tackles in the league. So maybe there's an argument to play your guys against the Panthers, as Will pointed out, from the injury standpoint and maybe just from the opponent standpoint. But they did this last year. Aaron looked good. Sadly, it was the only time we actually got to see Aaron Rodgers throw a touchdown with the Jets. Didn't count, but it happened in the preseason to Garrett. So I'm on board with playing him. I've been the whole time, but I think you let Aaron make the decision. And you could say, a quarterback shouldn't be making the decision. No, it's collaborative, man. Robert Saleh is not a Hall of Fame quarterback. Aaron Rodgers is. So this is not them butting heads. It's, hey, Aaron, how do you feel? And I don't think they need to make this decision now. It's August 9th. But it's being talked about because Aaron did not play in the joint practice yesterday, which means there's only 2 of them left. Which, by the way, is still the same amount they had last year, if you recall. They didn't do a joint practice with the Giants last year because they were playing them in the regular season. They did a joint practice last year with Carolina, and they got mollywomped up front, which led to Saleh tearing the offensive line a new one in the team meeting that Hard Knocks showed. And then they did a joint practice against the Tampa Bay Bucks. We all thought we're going to suck, and they ended up being a playoff team. So you never know in the NFL. I remember Mike Evans going to be a Jet. Well, that didn't happen because the Jets stunk. And Baker Mayfield had a career renaissance, and they were a playoff team with Todd Bowles. So you never know. So maybe Carolina is this year's Bucks. Probably not, but you never know. But conventional logic will tell you Carolina is not going to be as good as the Giants. Although some people think the Giants are going to be god-awful. I don't think they're going to be the worst team in the league, but you get the point. But to me, it comes down to what Aaron wants to do. And the only piece of advice I'd give to Saleh is don't be half pregnant with it, right? If you're going to put Aaron out there, if you're going to protect him from monsoon conditions yesterday in Florham Park, then you got to protect him with your starting offensive line out there if you do play him in the preseason, which I think is a no-brainer. Comments, questions, super chats. We'll cut the line. Before we play you some sound from Bart Scott and Willie Colon on SNY, I want to thank everyone once again, in case you missed the show yesterday, who attended our training camp meetup Wednesday night at Don Jose Mexican Restaurant. Thank you again to the staff at Don Jose's, especially the guy who made it all happen, one of our great listeners, Jose, who was running around making sure everyone got their drinks, their food, desserts, especially you, Charles Gorman. You came in right away. I've never seen someone order dessert that fast. But shout out to everyone who came out. It was awesome to meet so many of you and see a lot of you once again. So appreciate it. We got our next big event next Saturday. No limit on this, folks. We're going to get like 200-something people at this. It's going to be nuts. It's going to be a blast. Wear your Jake Asman Show merch if you're coming. And if you want some merch, we just dropped a whole bunch of new ones at jakeasman.com. So check that out. All right, let's hear now from Bart Scott and Willie Colon. Each of them had a unique perspective on whether or not Rodgers should play in the preseason. We'll start with Willie. This was Willie Colon weighing in on AR potentially playing.
Robert Saleh did say that Aaron Rodgers won't play in the first 2 preseason games, but he might play in the 3rd against the Giants, but he and Rodgers haven't discussed it yet. Willie, given how quickly Rodgers' season ended last year and the reconstructed O-line that the Jets have, do you think that he should play any preseason snaps?
Yeah, especially the first 2 games, right? Because you know the third one is the New York Giants. I know we talked a little bit about that behind the curtain, but overall, you got to understand, the man that they're looking at on the practice field isn't the same man on game day. This is a patchwork group. This is their first time they're going to be out there when it's real live. So if you're Tyron Smith-Simpson and Titman and Elijah Vera-Tucker, I know when I played, Ben Roethlisberger was great in practice, right? Because he wasn't getting hit, right? When the threat of getting hit and actually doing his job at a high level, there's a different level of detail and intensity he demanded from us. So we had to be on par with him and what he brings to the table. So that all has to happen now. This is a chance for them to kind of work and be together, so to speak. But overall, if I'm looking at Aaron Rodgers, man, you know, you're 41 years old coming off an Achilles. Give us something, right? Because the last time we saw you, they carted you off the field. So as much as you don't want to play, give Jet fans something to believe in. Because right now, they're desperate and dehydrated. They need something to drink ASAP.
Okay, I love Willie. I want to make it clear. He's a good dude. But I don't think the Jets got to give us something as fans just because we only had 4 plays of Aaron last year. That to me is not why you play him. I want to make that clear. Now, do I think it'd be nice to see Aaron play and play well and we'd be excited? Yeah, obviously it would only add to the excitement of the season. But I don't need a give me something as a Jet fan. You know what I need? I need wins in the regular season, however it happens. I can wait. All right, I've waited basically 2 years to watch Aaron Rodgers play. I can wait again. So I agreed with Willie because I'm on board with Aaron playing. But I don't agree with the ending there of, quench our thirst. Give us something. I don't need my thirst quenched. I have my Jake Asman mug, which I purchased at jakeasman.com. Shameless plug. And guess what? I'm going to taste it right now. Like I'm drinking the Jet Kool-Aid. My thirst has been quenched because I'm tasting 12-5 and AFC East champions. I think they could do that whether or not Aaron plays in the preseason or not. So I disagree with Willie from that standpoint. But I think if Aaron wants to play, he should play. Like, I don't think we need to complicate it. Aaron Rodgers is one of the greatest quarterbacks to ever live. He knows his body. He's had a record recovery from this injury. You watch him in practice this summer. There's no signs of a guy who's coming off a major injury. So I'm good with whatever he wants to do because I think it's his decision. They could say it's collaborative. I think this is an Aaron Rodgers decision, and I think it should be. Now let's get to Bart Scott's comments last night on SNY. Here's Bart weighing in on Rodgers potentially playing in the preseason.
Well, I can see both sides of it, right? Yeah. Because you don't want to expose them. You know, every day that goes by that Achilles is able to strengthen the stretching out under pressure and tension. And the offensive line could get some of that continuity and chemistry together by being behind Tyrod Taylor. But the thing that concerns me is the fact that it seems like everybody's having problems if you hear what's going on at camp with his cadence, which is unique, right? He's one of the best wordsmiths behind there. fluctuation, his tempo, his pitch, all that stuff. And it seems like Titman and I know the first day when I went out to camp, guys had to run because now they have this new thing. If you jump off sides, you got to go sit on the sideline.
Oh, wow.
Well, you saw Tyron Smith do that. You saw John Simpson. These are veteran guys, right? So I think you have to get that continuity, and that's different in a game setting when you have the surrounding noise and all the things happening because you're in a game environment, opposed to the comfort of being on the practice field. So I think maybe that instance, I am concerned that Saleh said if he is going to play, it's going to be the third game because we know what has happened in some of those games. We remember Eli getting his helmet ejected, nose busted up by Calvin Pace. We can remember the Snoopy Bowl. The reason why we saw Geno Smith earlier than expected is because Mark Sanchez got hurt. The Giants take this game a lot more seriously, I think, than the Jets do it sometimes. So if you are going to play him, I'd rather see him play against non-threat, somebody that doesn't feature maybe three of the best pass rushers interiorly and exteriorly in the game.
So I get that, but they already ruled out the first two games. So it's going to be the Giants or nothing at this point. Even though, as Will brought up, and you heard Bart even reference it there, maybe it makes more sense for them to play next week than the Giant game. I get that. But to me, at the end of the day, I look at it like this. Let Aaron call. Let Aaron make the decision. I mean, we don't need to overcomplicate it. If he thinks he needs to play, everyone's playing. If they're good, they're good. I do think Tyrod needs to play a little bit, though. Because I think if you're the Jets, you're trying to evaluate players on your roster. As we've seen, living through the hell that has been the Jet quarterback situation, specifically the last 3 seasons, it's hard to evaluate the rest of your team when your quarterback situation is that bad. And I'm not trying to dunk on Andrew Peasley or Adrian Martinez, but I'd bet the under on Jet preseason totals, to put it nicely. So I do think you need Tyrod out there because don't you want to see what you have in Corley in a game setting? Find out how much you can put on his plate, how he's handling it. Don't you want to find out what you have? And Jason Brownlee, if he's going to make this team, or is Malik Taylor going to beat him out for that last receiver spot? So having Tyrod out there as a true pro will help a lot in that regard. And that's another thing I want to mention, getting back to the joint practice yesterday. Garrett Wilson was incredible yesterday. We talked about this. He was the best player on the field. But he's allowed to be the best player on the field because he had competent quarterback play. And that's the sign of a great receiver. You put him with Aaron Rodgers now, we're talking about a guy who could be in the Offensive Player of the Year conversation. Like, that's the talent level Garrett has if his teammate Breece Hall doesn't win that, right? But it just reminds you how bad Garrett has been screwed over by the quarterback situation his first 2 years, and still how good he's been from a statistical standpoint, but nowhere near his ceiling. This guy could be one of the 5 best in the league this year. And a lot of that has to do with the fact that obviously Rodgers, of course, is back, but Tyrod being there is huge. If Aaron can't play every game this year, which at 40 years old, I get it. There's going to be some doubt if he's going to make it through 17 games. But Tyrod can come in, and you know what he does well? He throws the ball to number 5. Throws the deep ball. That's always something he's been good at. He was good at it last year if you watch the Giants. So yesterday was just another reminder on just how bad the quarterback situation has been for Garrett, that he had his best day of the summer yesterday in a monsoon with not even the Hall of Fame quarterback that the Jets built their entire franchise around throw into him, because that's how good this guy is. Think about that. And that's what made it so frustrating when people who don't watch the Jets say, oh, Garrett Wilson, he's overrated. Oh, he doesn't even have that many, that greatest stats. Jalen Waddle's better. Chris Olave's better. And it's like, man, you got to see what he's dealing with. Guys had 8 quarterbacks in 2 years. And when you think about it, let's go a step further, all right? You realize right now, Zach Wilson is the 3rd string quarterback on the Denver Broncos. They've already yanked his first team reps. He's done. He already lost the job. Not that I thought he had any chance of being the starter there, but they had an open competition for 3 guys. They were all rotating reps with the ones. They already skipped Zach Wilson's turn in the rotation because they've said it, he's not good enough. They're having a legit quarterback battle right now. A Bo Nix versus Jared Stidham, as I've been telling you for months would be the case on the show, because unfortunately, Zach Wilson stinks. And you truthers will go down in infamy for being some of the biggest morons in the history of this wonderful country we live in. The Zach Wilson truthers. And I'm not saying that the dunk on Zach Wilson. It's just think about the productivity Garrett Wilson has put up these last 2 years. And the guy who's thrown him most of those passes is a third-string quarterback on a bad football team behind a rookie and a journeyman. Think about that. And it's not personal against Zach. I have no ill will towards him personally. It's just the moron truthers out there who want to blame the Jets. Blame the Jets for picking Zach, not for not failing to develop him or not giving him opportunities. Because I watched Garrett Wilson yesterday be the best player on the field. Zach's had that from day one. He had Breece Hall for the last 2 years. He's had a top 5 defense that's given him a chance in every game. And this team last year, to take it a step further, and I was talking about this with Robert Saleh's brother yesterday, they won 7 games. And we were going through some of the games yesterday where the Jets scored less than 15 points. You realize the average in the NFL is 22? And the Jets lost games where they held their opponent to under 15 points. How many times last year? 3 or 4 I could think of. So the fact that this team won 7 games, despite its quarterback play, is truly not being talked enough about. And no one should celebrate 7 wins, but it adds context to just how god-awful the quarterback position has been. And throw in a bad play caller who has the job because he is tight with the franchise quarterback, which is fine if the franchise quarterback is going to play. But it's ugly, man. 13 O-line combinations in 17 games last year. Like, this team has a chance to be really, really good. Like, the Jets won 7 games the last 2 years with a quarterback who can't buy a first-team rep in training camp for a Broncos quarterback room that only has 3 total quarterbacks. And the other 2 are rookie Bo Nix and Jared Stidham. Say that again. So I'm not sitting here telling you Robert Saleh is this great coach. We all understand they got to win this year. He's got a lot to prove. But can we take a step back and realize that they won 7 games last year with Zach Wilson, who's a third stringer on a bad team right now, Tim Boyle, who's a third or fourth stringer on the Texans right now, and sucked in the Hall of Fame game for whatever that's worth, and Trevor Siemian, who they actually went 2-1 with, but he's not in the league right now. That's how they won their 7 games last year. Like, it's amazing. This team's really good, man. And even if Aaron goes down, obviously if it's season ending, folding up shop, we understand that. But Tyrod Taylor could play. And it's not the worst thing in the world yesterday for him to get those reps with this first-team offense that when they had Tyron Smith out there, when they had Morgan Moses out there, they look good. All right? Breece had a big touchdown run in the red zone. Garrett was uncoverable. They look good. Comments, questions, super chats. We'll cut the line. We are seeking channel memberships. If you missed it yesterday, the G5 emoji is live. Thanks to Snowball, the Snowball, for designing the G5 emoji. We had to honor our guy Garrett after I got a chance to catch up with him after practice yesterday, and he was the best player on the field. So we got the G5 emoji. We're always looking for more. So if you want to design something for the Asmaniacs, send it my way via email. Make sure it's 1 by 1, the image aspect, so YouTube will accept it when we upload it. But we need more memberships. Need about 50 or so to add another one. So we'll see what we could do. Make it 49, though, because before the show even started, this happened.
Oh, nice.
Ladies and gentlemen, TB has gifted a channel membership. It went to listener DKL. So congratulations to DKL. Thank you to TB for supporting the show. Ricky NY writes in, hit the like and share equals the more Asmaniacs, the better. Ricky, I appreciated you rocking the merch yesterday. Appreciate that, my friend. Hit the like button if you're tuning in. There's 311 of you. The like button, if you're new to YouTube, is just the thumbs up icon. You click it. It's free. Helps the algorithm show the show to more people, which is exactly what it's all about. Also yesterday, during the second stream, we were able to sit down with Jets punter Thomas Morstead for an awesome interview. Thomas is partnering up with the Team Gleason Foundation, the Steve Gleason Foundation, to basically raise money in the fight against ALS. So it's an awesome cause. So check out the full interview on my channel when you're done watching the show. But since I love you all so much, I pulled a clip. So here's Thomas Morstead talking about people confusing him for the guy who wore excuse me, let me reword this. Here's Thomas Morstead on people confusing him for the new number 5 on the Jets. Garrett Wilson. Before we wrap up, Thomas, I mean, anyone confusing you for Garrett Wilson? I mean, you had the number 5. Now you're rocking the number 6. Is there any confusion between you two on the practice field?
Listen, I can see where the mix-up comes. We are brothers. And we're family now. So, no, it is cool seeing so many people with 5 jerseys in the stands. I'm assuming that's from last season's really awesome performance by me. But, it's cool. He was so excited to get the jersey, and I was excited to give it to him. So it's all good.
And for you going with the number 6, I mean, that's my era of Jets football I grew up with as far as success, the Mark Sanchez, Rex Ryan era. So I don't want to put any pressure on you, Thomas, but number 6 does hold a special place in a lot of Jet fans my age. Yeah, well,
we did a little jersey swap last week, which was cool. Mark and I were the same draft class, so that was cool, and we kind of had a little fun with it because when I was down in Miami and I had the butt punt against the Bills, he had some viral tweet that said, yo, stay out of my lane, bro. So I said, hey, I'm definitely in your lane now. I got your jersey number. So it's all in good fun. It was cool to do that. And I'm glad to be back in my OG number 6 from all my years in New Orleans.
I love that from Morstead. Rocking the Sanchez. And I told you guys the story when I was at training camp that day that Sanchez was there and he went into the stands to get a random Jet fan who had the Sanchez jersey on so he could take that jersey swap picture with Thomas Morstead. So check out the full interview, Jet fans, if you haven't watched it yet. Morstead is great every time he comes on the show. And also, I hope Greeny thanks me for this. So Morstead's guy reached out and said, hey, I know you work at ESPN with Greeny. Do you have a contact for someone at Get Up? And I said, well, watch this. My friend from college is Greeny's producer. Connected the two. Morstead will be on Get Up on September 4th because of me. So you're welcome, Jet fans. How about some positive Jet talk on the national stage for once? None of this garbage from Chris Canny or Graziano. Let's get Greeny, a true Jet fan, the chance to talk with an actual Jet on the show. So because of yours truly, Morstead will be on Get Up on September 4th to talk Jets, just 5 days before the Jet opener. So I'm doing my best, folks, all right? I'm tired of the negativity that's out there, the nonsense. So we'll try and do some positivity there. So Morstead will be on with Greeny on September 4th. Hit the like button if you like that. I know I do. Appreciate everyone for their support. Comments, questions, super chats. Let me ask the fan base right now. Let me ask the chat. Do you think Aaron Rodgers will play in the preseason? Not if you think he should play. Do you think Rodgers will play? Because I think he's going to. Gustbuster Hotline is open. First up today is our friend Johnny Boy. Johnny Boy, what do you got for us?
Yeah, what up, Jake? How you holding up, man?
We're living the dream.
Bro, awesome interview. That clip that you just put on there was my favorite piece of that interview, dude. It was so funny, man, because I was laughing when that dude was talking about the whole, like, getting confused. And what an awesome guy, man. Like, not only the type of, like, teammate that he is, but also in the piece of, like, when the younger cats are coming to him and he's like, yo, take care of your money. Don't be like one of these players that once they retire, they don't have anything. And that's a really, really cool thing that he does that's not talked a lot about. So shout out to Morstead, man. I mean, that dude's awesome, bro. Awesome, awesome guy, man. And kudos to you to getting him connected with Good Morning Football, bro. I mean,
Get Up, but yes.
Get Up. My bad. Get Up. But, dude, seeing you with that bucket hat, I don't know if you remember the video of Virtual Insanity with Jamiroquai from back in the, bro, you look just like him, dude. So, shit.
I was thinking a little Run DMC.
Nah, it's Jamiroquai, bro. Hopefully you pull it up and all that, and you'll get a good chuckle out of it. But dude, Yeah, man. Yesterday, what you guys were putting out there, Garrett Wilson, man, that cat, looks insanely good, bro. And the last thing I did want to talk in regards to is this whole piece about the Aaron Rodgers thing, man. Look, I'm one of those guys. I'm cool with him not playing at all. I think the battle that I have between myself is he had that injury, so the mental hurdle, like if he gets hit, him getting back up and say, okay, my shit's not gonna break. I'm sorry for cursing, but I'm gonna be good. You know what I mean? That's something that always plays, and anybody that's ever been injured, is getting over that mental hurdle. So,
yeah.
But that dude's a vet, bro. He's been in the league for how long? I don't see him having any issues just getting into this thing. He's practicing, which is important. So I don't know, man, but hey, I appreciate you, Jake, man. Keep doing your thing, brother. And hey, shout out to the trio, Infrared. Happy birthday, and to Miss Aurora. Happy birthday to both of them. So, all right, appreciate you, bro.
Johnny boy, appreciate you, and well said. Happy birthday to Infrared, and happy birthday to Aurora. Big birthday week for the show. Mike D's Nuts had a birthday the other day. It's everyone's birthday, seemingly. Crazy. Ricky says, LL Cool Jake. I like it. I wanted to go full King Lowski today. This just came for me yesterday. So I'm like, I'm going with the Lowski look today. Let's see. Jay Quest thinks that Rodgers will play 2 drives versus the Giants. Honestly, if they score on the first drive, it could just be 1. Like if they go right down the field and score a touchdown, I think that's probably it. If you remember, Rodgers last year played 2 drives because they didn't score on the first. They had like a penalty that, it was the Cobb hit, right? It was the Randall Cobb illegal hit that Rodgers made fun of him for in the huddle that we saw on Hard Knocks. That basically killed that drive with the personal foul. And then they got the ball back and they went right down the field and ended with the Garrett Wilson touchdown. So. Terrence with the positivity. Rodgers going down last season did not kill us. It made us stronger. It could work that way if they have the year we think we're capable of seeing from this team. It could. They are more equipped to handle injuries up front. They were ultra aggressive in doubling down on the backup quarterback situation, right? And getting Tyrod here, even if they quote unquote overpaid, which I don't think they did. They needed to. They doubled down on the offensive line to a point where they signed a Hall of Fame left tackle and then still used their first round pick on an offensive tackle. So, yeah, I mean, it could be something that makes them stronger if they learn from it. And I like the moves Joe Douglas has made. With the caveat being Hassan Reddick is still not in camp yet. And this has to get done. Because a big part of what you did this offseason in replacing Bryce Huff a big part of all this is Hassan Reddick coming in and being the closer that this team is going to need late in the fourth quarter. And to this point, he hasn't signed. Yankees announced tonight's game has been postponed. They'll play a single admission doubleheader with the Rangers tomorrow. The first game starting out 1. We'll do a little double screen tomorrow then. Jets and Yankees on at the same time now. By the way, I tried to give these away in the Discord. No one answered, so I'm going to open it up to the general public. A great listener of mine named Tony has seats for tomorrow's game with parking. I love to give it to a parent who could take a kid who maybe has never been to a game before. The weather's supposed to be very nice tomorrow. So please reach out if you would like to go to the Jet game tomorrow against the Commies. All right. Really good seats. I got parking for you. So if you want to go to the game, reach out to me. Send me an email. And if I have the tickets by the time you reach out, I'll send them your way. Thanks to Tony for donating them. Very nice. Comments, questions, super chats. We'll cut the line. Lot still to get into here. A lot of people want in on the conversation. So we're going to open up the Gusbuster hotline. Take your calls. Before we do any of that, though, we're going to pause and then come back. And, oh, baby, this show is just getting started.
The New York J-E-T-S Jets.
Come on!
Select Will McDonald, linebacker,
What?
Iowa State.
What the
Let's
fuck?
go.
I can't believe this shit!
All
What
right.
the fuck are we doing?
Hey, there we go. Light it up, Ricky. Yeah, let's get back to your calls right now. One of our favorites is on the Gusbuster hotline. Ricky NY joins us now. What's up, Ricky?
Hey, Jake.
Hey, Ricky, how you doing?
Thanks for taking my call, Jake. I just finished smoking all the available weed in the panhandle, so bear with me if I collapse here in front of my personalized flag. Any chance you could send that boxing guy, Gary, to the Jameis Winston town? Maybe Gator can build a special hall for quarterbacks who throw more interceptions than completed passes. Well, not a Florida guy, but can go to Seminoles all the way there. If you got a whole lot, get all of them in there. I don't give a shit. Well, I think I got to relight this thing. Hold on a second. I just got this new blowtorch lighter. Let's try it out. Try it. Oh, Jesus Christ. Should have backed off that setting a bit. Anyway, Jake, I'll hang up for now and grab the burn kit again. Later, brother.
Oh, my God.
Yo, Gator is different, man. That dude is different.
Let's keep going with the calls right now. It looks like, wow, I cannot believe this guy actually showed his face. A man who owes us 25 memberships in honor of 25 career interceptions by Zach Wilson. Hawk has called in for the very first time. Hello, Hawk.
Hey, Tyson, what's up, man? Hey, Jake, before you send me to the Shadow Realm, let me ask Tyson about Zach. Tyson, don't you think we can keep Zach Wilson and just let him start the first few games? I mean, we all know the kid just needs another year behind center, and that'll really get him going. I mean, Crowan, man, you know he's freaking awesome, bro. Marvin Will.
Oh, man, you're killing me.
Hawk, thank you for calling in, and we'll see you in the realm.
Into the Shadow Realm you go. That's the problem with Aaron Rodgers. This guy is a cancer that's metastasized throughout the entire building in Florham Park. And I don't know why Jets fans can't see it.
Or, here's another idea that's going to be very controversial. You could shut the fuck up.
Whoa. You don't need a quarterback. You need a good football player. That's what I'm saying about Brock Bowers. You need a good football player.
Gary has called back in. He's relentless tonight, man. Gary, what do you got?
What's going on, Jake? I'll live fired up today. Let me ask you something. If you could get 30 touchdowns out of Jameis Winston and 30 interceptions, I'm going to tell you this about him. Caleb Williams is help him in the third round, and if he gets knocked down in round 7, I mean, his fight's going to go to the scorecard. It's probably fixed anyway. I mean, I disagree with you like 100%. What you did, miscalculating about not taking Joe Milton over Zach, a draft prospect. I mean, knockouts don't matter if you land enough jabs and you would have split decision. You don't need a quarterback for a 12-round fight. You get the tight end. You get the tight end. Joe Milton. Knockouts don't get the tight end because Bowers, he's not going to hold the ball as long as Caleb Williams. He'll just allow it to himself and catch it and score down the ring, and then it's a knockout fight. Wait, hold on, Jake. I think I owe you an apology. I just realized I called into your Jets show. Thought I was doing the boxing thing and I freaking crossed all my thoughts. Anyway, we should take Joe Milton and take Tyson over Jake Paul in round 3 of the draft. Thanks, Jake. Kid is a douchebag.
Thank you, Gary.
Thank you, Gator. Well done. Well done. Well done. Give Gator some love in the chat. That was well needed after Gary's call on the second show today. Good God. Bravo. Gary up next. Hello, Gary.
That skit that Gator did yesterday, I showed it to my wife. She thought it was the funniest thing like she's ever seen. That was gold. I don't know how he does this, but he's got some type of talent. I hope he's using it for good. That guy is incredible.
You know you made it when you get impersonated by Gator.
Yeah, I'll take you as a compliment. I'll take you all as a compliment.
All right, let's keep rolling. You want to talk about Hall of Fame level callers. Ladies and gentlemen, let's go to our guy, Scott.
Hey, what's up? Great stuff. How the hell you be a swing tackle in the scheme of what you're doing? I mean, what the hell are you going to get? What do you say if I have this guy, we can have this guy? That's garbage. That's garbage. No. You can look at the whole dynamics of it, and it's tough, and it's cool, but what the schematics that Jake, I love you. I respect you. It's fictitious crap. I mean, how? I mean, look at a ballerina, and a ballerina knows how to move her hips and knows how to move her body. And you're laughing, but it's true, Jake. I love you. I respect you. But look, you don't put words in my face. I can show you how a ballerina, if you turn her body in a certain way, you can see how she moves. And it's just in the terms of the ballerina that just the way she spins in the dress, stay put, and it's just not how it's done. Look, I'm 48, dude. I take steroids and a very low dose of rodeo bull made from juices from injections, and I'm very muscular. I've got the muscles.
Oh my God!
This guy, and he's Mr. Magnificio. I just don't know how.
Oh my God. God damn it, Gator.
All right, we're back. Thanks for hanging in. Get to your calls coming up. Please smash that like button. Before we get back to your calls, and Bill, I see you there. You're going to be first up. I want to show a different angle from some of the clips we showed yesterday from the joint practice of just Garrett Wilson cooking up the Washington Commies defense. Watch this view here from the stands. This is insane from Garrett Wilson. All right, watch this. And I'm just going to say it. If you have kids in the area, all right, close their eyes because this is not safe for work. This move Garrett Wilson does is probably a felony in at least 12 states. Oh, my God. What? Where's Chris Berman? What? I mean, just insane. Third down, by the way. Emmanuel Forbes. Nowhere to go. See ya. I mean, they couldn't get him. It's crazy. And this was just every play, it felt like, in a monsoon. Ball's out. Boom. Go. Cut back. You know what I love about this play, too? Watch Olu. Watch 74 still running hard. I mean, just crazy. Thankfully, it might be a felony in 12 states. New Jersey is not one of them. Shout out to Garrett Wilson. A lot of you in the chat saying you need a change of pants. Why? Am I missing something? Purple Belt Mike writes in, Jake, are you doing a PM show? Oh, yeah. You know how this goes, Mike. Unless I'm at camp or something comes up Monday through Friday, we typically do 2 shows a day, and it's a Friday. So that means Boy Green will be coming on the program this afternoon around 4:30 Eastern. With that said, let's get into more of your calls right now. Appreciate you sticking with us here on a show unlike any other. A show so great that you will one day tell your grandchildren about. Ladies and gentlemen, Bill is up next on this show today. Hello, Bill.
Hey, how's it going?
Bill, where have you been, man?
I know I've been away for a little while. Sometimes I just watch the show and not get online. I just figure there's probably enough people already getting in on the action with you. So nonetheless, I'm looking forward to August 17th. I already have my ticket for that event in Manhattan. I'm so looking forward to seeing a lot of you there.
It's going to be wild, Bill. Be ready to party.
I was afraid there weren't going to be any room left when I tried to reserve, but I got lucky. So very happy about that. I'm also happy about the fact that the Mets are doing so well that if they at least play 500 from here on in, they'll definitely make the playoffs. So very happy, and of course excited about the Jets with. Now that we have Aaron, pretty much in great shape and all the guys performing well. And heck, we have all these undrafted players that are also making eyes open at camp. So there's a lot to be excited about with the team.
100%. I mean, this team has more talent on it than they've had in years, Bill. So it's time to win now.
It is. I'm very excited about it. Just a quick question to you, because definitely I've seen a whole lot more baseball than you have over the years. And I wonder, what do you think about the way baseball is played today versus just 20 years ago?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's harder to hit now than it's ever been because I think the pitchers are just better than they've ever been. I mean, you're talking about guys who come out of the bullpen, they all throw 95 plus. 20 years ago, there'd be one or two guys maybe per team that could do that. So that's why I think what Judge is doing, by the way, is just insane. Like the average major league hitter now is hitting like 245. Like, think about that. So it's, I miss when there was more offense in the game. I do think the new rules have been better with the pitch clock to speed it along. But, I think baseball was counting on maybe like the removal of the shift to add some offense, but the pitching just is so good. I think it's just hard to hit nowadays.
Yeah, I just find it so strange. If a pitcher has a couple of complete games in the year, they're looking to make him a Cy Young winner. Meanwhile, you look at a Tom Seaver or Carlton or even Ryan, where they all have at least 200 or more complete games in their career. You just wonder what the quality of the pitchers today is versus what they were then. Complete game, 9, even 10 or 11 innings with some of these guys back then. And today we're worried about 60, 70 pitches. So, and then all the arm injuries, especially the Tommy Johns, I think that is crazy. That is crazy. But nonetheless, now it is what it is, and we can only hope that maybe they'll find a way around this, and hopefully the quality of all our players will improve. But nonetheless, I still look for the Jets to end up 12-5, given the schedule. I believe that they will always have a game or two where they're just flat, and then there's always going to be that game or two where the other team really just plays that much better. This thing about 17-0 and so on, I don't know. I thought the Dolphins 14-0 season, they got a lot of luck thrown in there. Without that, they could never have had that perfect season. But nonetheless, it's a joy to talk to you. Hope everyone out there is having a great day, and take care all. God bless.
Bill, good to hear from you. Hope all is well. I look forward to seeing you in person next week. For those wondering, yes, we still have tickets available. RSVP. It's a free event. If you want a chance to win a signed Garrett Wilson football, make sure you sign up for your ticket so we can gather your information. I told Garrett yesterday we're giving away one of his signed footballs. So he's hyped. It's going to be awesome, folks. Come on down. T-Squared Social right in Midtown Manhattan next to Bryant Park and Grand Central Station. So if you want to take the train from Jersey Long Island, Westchester, Connecticut, easy. If you want to drive, you could do that. Probably the best time you could drive, right? If you're going to drive in the city, you'd rather drive on a weekend than during the week. Yikes. How about this super chat here? This made me laugh. Although I can't find it now. Where'd it go? It didn't automatically save, but I saw it in the chat when it was posted. Ryed, he checks in. All these Garrett Wilson clips make me realize how far we've come from a Darius Stewart. Yeah, we all tried to talk ourselves into a Darius Stewart and Chad Hansen. Oh, did they find a diamond in the rough? It's like, no, they just picked bad football players because they were poorly run. But Garrett, and I've said this, and maybe people think I'm going too far with it. I wouldn't say it. You guys know this. I don't say things I don't believe. I think Garrett's going to go down, assuming health, which knock on every wood you could find, assuming health in his career, and he stays with the Jets for his career. I think he'll go down as the best receiver this franchise has ever had, and I recognize that Don Maynard's in the Hall of Fame. I'm just telling you how I think about Garrett's potential. I think he's that special. I think he's great. And I think if you know him a little bit, I'm not saying I know him that well, but in my interactions with him, I think he just gets it. I think he's, I mean, if you watch the origins that the Jets put out on YouTube, you see it. He's that special of a player. Sauce, for that matter, as well. But I think Garrett Wilson and Sauce Gardner, you know, they have Hall of Fame potential. I mean, that's how good these guys are. Sauce is already on his way to the Hall of Fame, if you think about it. If he stays healthy in his career. No one has ever gone out there through their first 2 years and has made the all-pro team, first team at that position. I mean, Sauce is great. The play he made yesterday, I'm glad the Jets posted it themselves. I'll pull it up for people. Seeing it live was like unreal, man. The way Sauce Gardner kind of flipped his hips and baited Jaden Daniels into a throw that Daniels thought he was going to be able to slip it over Sauce, and Sauce is just too athletic. I think Sauce even said afterwards he was actually in the wrong coverage by mistake, but then he adjusted on the fly and just made the play on the ball to come up with a pass deflection on fourth down to seal the game. So this was in the 2-minute at the end yesterday. Jets starting defense versus the Commanders starting offense. And this was the play Sauce made. I mean, it was just unreal. And like so this was my angle of practice yesterday. Only we were a lot higher and a lot up. Like you can't see the beginning here. Like just how far Sauce had to run to get back and make this play. Like I thought it was going to be a completed pass, but the way he ran all the way back as quickly as he did, I mean, it was unreal. Such a good play by Sauce. Defense really clamped up yesterday. Man. Hawk writes in, Garrett still has trouble hearing the snap count from the time Jake clapped in his ear at the Knick game. Hawk, not bad out of you. All right. That was pretty good. It's pretty funny. That's funny. Maybe that's why Jordan Whitehead didn't re-sign with the Jets. He wanted to get away from me. John says, show my version from the other side. I got to find it, John. I don't have it handy. It takes a little while to pull up. I see Joe Mike is in the chat. I want to read his comment, and then I want to share a new emoji we have cooking for Aaron Rodgers that we're going to look to hopefully add before the season starts. I always saw Rodgers trade as a 2-year experiment. Last year, we're supposed to make the playoffs and have a good run, but year 2 was going to be the Super Bowl run. Now we will do both. From your lips to God's ears, Joe Mike. Speaking of the great Joe Mike, all right? So Joe has sent me some emojis, right? He sent me one for Aaron Rodgers a couple of weeks back, and I forgot I had it. So, Joe, I'm glad you sent me the email reminder during the show. I've joked that Aaron Rodgers is going on the Scorched Earth tour this season. The Aaron Rodgers Scorched Earth emoji. Now, the emoji, to be clear, will just be him holding the football with the fire, not the other stuff around it. But just so it's a bigger visual for people to see, this is the next emoji. if we get enough channel members. Need about like 50 of them to add it. Or 49, because I think we've gained one so far this show. But I think this is sick. All right. We already have the AR with the flag. We'll leave that through the Olympics. Well, this is big time. Let's go. Let's go. Shake and Bake says it's crazy how Hawk hasn't been gifted a membership. He doesn't want one. He doesn't have gift receipts turned on. He thinks he's a rebel. He's like, ugh, I'm Hawk. Look at me. Taryn says, I predict, Jake, you'll get those memberships by the end of the evening show. Well, we got Boy Green coming on in the afternoon, so there could be some fireworks in that show. Last Friday's show with Boy Green was insane. The Gorman call last week, the V-Man call, Bobby, it was out of control. Shake and Bake says, I heard McDonald had a few good reps. Is that right? Yeah, look, to be honest with you, Shake and Bake, I didn't get to see a ton of Will because the defense was on the far side of the field and I was watching the offense more. But he did have, from what I saw a couple good reps. I know there was a clip going viral of the Jets streaming, some of the individual 1v1 drills, and McDonald had a nasty spin move. But then I read that the guy that McDonald put the spin move on is a guard, not a tackle, and he was kind of playing tackle in the drill. So, I'm not sitting here telling you that Will McDonald didn't have a good day. I think he's been playing a lot better. But, this play I saw yesterday going viral, I think there's, some context to it. Let me see if I can find it. Here it is. I'll pull it up on the screen share for people. Let me get that set up for you guys. Hit the like button if you're just tuning in, by the way. All right, this show is free. 286 people are watching. Now 301 people are watching. Only 167 likes. Here's the play. All right, I got it here. Let me go full screen and then screen share so you guys actually can see it. Here we go. Stand by. So this guy's a guard playing tackle here for some context. Still, Will McDonald looks good. I mean, what? See ya. There it is. So, look, Will should play tomorrow. I keep saying Saturday. Saturday is tomorrow. Lasso says, do any of the ones get reps on Saturday? Well, it depends how you view McDonald. I guess technically he's not a one, but he's going to play a lot. Right now, him and Clemens are going to rotate a lot. Now, can we get Hassan Reddick in camp so that happens? Yeah, that'd be nice. Right? I think we all would agree. That you want your best players out there. All right. John, I'm trying to get your sauce clip up here. Let's see if I can do this. All right, I think we're going to be able to show it. Great angle you had, John. Let's see if I can get this to load for the people here. Yeah, this will be great job, John. This is awesome. Appreciate you making it easy and sending it to me directly here. The great John LG, everybody. All right, here we go. This is the angle of the sauce play that was on 4th down, game on the line, defense clamping up. Yesterday's practice. Here we go. Watch. Flips the hips. Gets there. Gets there. And Sauce didn't celebrate because I think he knows he was in the wrong coverage by accident. So he was like even humble about that. But watch. This is on McLaurin. Like you just don't find corners who can make this play. Sauce versus Terry here. Look, like he baited Daniels into that. Like he stopped Daniels like, oh, I can fit it between. Like the technique is just incredible here. He's just so good. Like what is Sauce, 6'3"? To have like the lateral quickness, the agility he has to just go, boom, flips, gets there. Like you don't see corners play like that. That's why he was a top 5 pick. Sauce yesterday, I was standing right there. I think Richie asked him how many interceptions he wants this year, and he's like 5. And then 1 to the house. I'm like, sign me up. I think Sauce gets his first pick 6 this year, though. I think that happens. But like they clamped up. I mean, the Commanders gained like 1 yard of offense. So this was the 2-minute. They got 1 shot at it. They didn't get a first down. And it's just like making great plays. I laugh, right? Rich wrote in, but he's always holding, making fun of the morons who say that about Sauce. Like, you know what this was? Just great technique and a great football player being great. Look at that. Brick City. Sauce was in the wrong defense and still made the play. Yeah, it's just that's why like you can't when you combine generational talent with like the work ethic that Sauce has, you get one of the best players in the NFL. Point blank. Sauce Gardner will be the highest paid cornerback a year from now. It's a very easy contract, in my opinion, to do. I think Garrett's contract's a little more complicated because so much of it is based on, well, is Rodgers out there with him? What does that look like? Right? If he has a Devontae like year, you know it was all Zach Wilson why he hasn't been doing that till this year. Or not just Zach, but Flacco and Boyle and Simeon and all that. Sauce, it's like, you know, he's first-team All-Pro his first 2 years. He's only going to get better this year. You're talking about a guy like whatever the market is for the top corner now, you go above that, find some common ground because his next contract makes him the highest paid corner in football. It's easy. Garrett's complicated because it'd be 1 great year, we assume, and then where do you pay him in the pecking order of receivers? So I think Sauce they get done first. I think they get both done, but I think Sauce's contract is a little easier to figure out if you're the Jets than Garrett, but I think both will get signed. Matthew says a year from now, we have 3 years of contract control on him. You don't want to be the Cowboys, though, Matthew. Don't wait. Look at what happened with CeeDee Lamb. Look what's happening with Dak. They signed Dak 2 years ago like they should have. They wouldn't have to pay him $60 million right now. He'd be around like late 40s, early 50s, which would be a bargain, as crazy as that is to say, when you have, Trevor Lawrence and Tua making $55 million a year. Don't wait. It only goes up. You save on your cap long term. You could spread out the signing bonus. Get it done. Don't wait. Shake and bake. Will Jordan Travis get any reps? I don't think he's playing this summer. I think he's a lot further along from coming back than I think many of us realized when he was drafted. I know his agent put out, he's going to be healthy for a training camp. That was all just BS. So his draft stock wouldn't slide more than it already did. Brick City, who's the better generational talent, Sauce or Garrett? I think Sauce because, we've seen great receivers like Garrett. We very rarely see corners like Sauce. Sauce Gardner's generational because look at his height and his length, his arm length. That's what got him picked in the top 5. Sauce Gardner's 6'3". The other elite corners in the NFL, no one is that tall and has his length. Jair Alexander's 5'10". Surtain is 6'2". Jalen Ramsey is 6'1". Garrett is great, but I think Sauce is a little different just from the body type standpoint. That's why, because how often do you see corners go that high in the NFL? You don't. You've seen receivers go that high. We just saw a receiver go number 3 this year, and Marvin Harrison, who's a generational receiver, so it's different. They're both great players, both great leaders, and they both, I believe, should be captains this year to start grooming them into that leadership role. Rodgers is going to be a captain. Quinnen's a captain. Obviously, CJ's the overall captain of that defense. I think Garrett should be a captain with Sauce, and I bet you Tyron Smith's a captain too on offense. That to me is a no-brainer. I think Salah should have a couple more captains than they normally have had because I think you want to start grooming these guys for post-Rodgers into that leadership role. And Rodgers challenged those guys at the beginning of camp to take on bigger leadership roles than they have. Hit the like button if you're just tuning in. Will we get enough memberships to add the Scorched Earth Rodgers emoji? You could gift the membership by hitting the gift button, or you could do it the old-fashioned way for just $2.99. You could sign up, support the channel, and become an official Asmaniac. Today's Jake Asman Show is presented by my friends at Circa Resort and Casino. Guys, you've heard me talk about Circa a lot on the show. I stay there every time I go to Vegas, including at the end of this month. I'll be out there for 4 days. Circasports.com for all the info on these two contests I'm going to talk to you about. $16 million in guaranteed prizes. The Circa Pro Football Pick Contest, $6 million in guaranteed prizes. You make weekly picks against the spread, 100% payback to the player, to you, the sports bettor. Then the Circa Survivor. You pick one team every week. If that team wins, you can't use that team again, and you stay alive. Last person standing wins. $10 million in guaranteed prizes. I'm putting up $1,000 of my own money to enter the Survivor contest. And each week on the show, I need each of you out there to help come up with a strategy for which team we're picking. We can only pick that team once. Circa Survivor. If you want your own entry in any of these contests, the two best pro football contests in Vegas, circasports.com for all the information. If you're in the Vegas area, in late August, I'll be out there from August 21st to the 24th. I will plan a meetup. So stay tuned for that. Join my Discord for more information on that. I'll have some info when we get a little closer. Carly writes in, big Circa fan. Carly had never been to Circa before. She was out there, was that June or July? I forget. But we got her into Stadium Swim, which is the outdoor sports book there, which is the best. And we also got her a reservation at Barry's, which is the steakhouse at Circa, which is my favorite restaurant in Vegas. So that's the place to be, folks. Anyone who was out there with us for our weekend for the Raider game last year knows exactly what I'm talking about. Mr. Boji says, Jake, what dates you go to Vegas? I told my wife you needed my help, but I have to go. I could still use your help. I could still use your help. Come out to Vegas, Bonesy. Zach Asman says, we love Barry's. Have you been, Zach? When were you in Vegas? Barry's is where I had dinner with Kevin James, if you guys remember that. Just ask my mom. She thinks that happened still. Hold on. I'll show you guys Barry's. Watch this. All right, here we go. A little screen sharing. All right. Follow me on Instagram if you haven't, by the way. At Jake Asman. What are you waiting for? Look at JJ, by the way. This is the indoor sports book. Oh, where's the picture of... I can't... You know what? I don't know if I have the picture. I thought I posted it. Did I post it on the show account? Follow at Jake Asman Show if you haven't. This was the best, by the way. These two guys, I owe them jerseys still. I was waiting for Parts Unknown to add the Olu jerseys and the Corley jersey, but I don't know if that's happening. So I got to reach out and figure that out. I don't have the photo. Damn. Let me see if I can find it on my phone. Stand by. Hit the like button if you're just tuning in. What month? The draft was what? April? All this to basically roast Gator for looking like Kevin James. Stand by. There we go. My dinner with Kevin James. Tremendous. So I posted that, and legit, my mom thought that was actually Kevin James. Simple Eats with a super chat. Cuts the line and has Maniac for 1 full month. If you had to bet on just one of these guys to make the roster, who do you think makes it and why? JBC, Jalen Key, Zaire Barnes. I think JBC's had a good camp. I think he makes the team. I think Jalen Key's on the team too. Barnes probably on the team too as a backup linebacker. Those guys being draft picks helps them. Ty will go to the draft pick, which is typically how GMs do it. Aaron writes in, so you thinking Rucker would be a red zone beast this year? He's had a good camp. I think he'll have a bigger role, Aaron. I think Conklin's going to be more of a threat in the red zone, though. Let's see. Open phone lines if everyone wants in on the conversation. Not a lot of calls today. Where is everyone? You people have lives other than watching this show? Jake West writes in, Jake, if I don't get a membership by opening night, I'm going to buy one myself and emoji the bleep out of the chat. You better. Zach Asman says, which running backs are making the team? Well, we all know who the starter is.
Bruce Hall.
And then Braylon Allen, followed by Isaiah Davis. If they keep 4, I think it will be Izzy. Although, I don't know. I have yet to see Izzy Abanikanda do something in the 3 practices I've been at where I've been like, that's a really good play, or like, that stood out. I feel like he's just kind of there. I don't know. I'm not saying he can't make the teams, but I think these preseason games are going to be big for him. Tom A says, Jake, postgame show tomorrow? Oh, baby. Oh, there's a postgame show tomorrow, Tom. We're back, baby. After every Jets game, I try to go live as quickly as I can. Obviously, sometimes I'm at the game or I'm doing a watch party, so it might take place 30 minutes to an hour after the game ends, but we will give you a postgame show after every game. Tom writes in, Jake, question from Lane. How do you feel about the Jets? I feel good, Lane. I'm glad you and Tom Ace have formed such a dynamic friendship. Love it. Love it. Hit the like button if you're tuning in. Thank you, Rich. Huge Johnson checks in. That's definitely his given name. Glad to hear we smoked those boys. Commy fans were talking crazy yesterday. Yeah, the Jets defense smoked the commies in the team period. And at least in the 11-on-11s at the beginning of practice, especially the red zone, it looked like the offense got the better of the commies defense. And you know what? The Jets should be better than Washington, right? Washington had the second pick in the draft for a reason. They're not any good. TB says, Morstead really seems like such a nice guy. He sometimes takes endless picks and signs endless autographs for fans. Great guy. Great guy. Got a chance to talk to him a little bit before we did the interview. Awesome dude. Duncan says, lots of injuries for Detroit versus Giants last night. Turf being blamed or weather or both. I think it's everything. It's also football. It's also football. Ladies and gentlemen, joining us on the line right now is one of our favorite callers. He means a ton to this great community. Ladies and gentlemen, we say hello to none other than who, Leanie?
Is this Mike D's nuts?
Oh, it is. Hello, Mike.
What's going on, brother?
I love the sweatshirt.
Yeah, man. I just wanted to get on and just tell everybody thank you for the birthday wishes, man. I wanted to show off some of the swag my wife got me. She got me this one.
Yep.
Check out this card. What does it say at the bottom?
I got you something for your birthday. D's nuts.
Bruh. Got a nice little shirt.
Love it.
And she got me this guy, nice little Jets polo. So
man, that's nice. That's so Ryan from Jets Talk, who I was with at camp last week. He has the same polo in black.
Sweet, man. Sweet stuff. And I'm going to say, yo, this hoodie, I love it. Super high quality, nice way it feels. Wonderful, man.
I appreciate that, man. I'm glad you like it. That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm going to go on to the site today, probably get some slides, some other stuff, man. But I love the merch, man. Thank you for everything that you sent me to, man. I appreciate it.
Hey, Mike, anything for you, brother. Appreciate your support. And, you know, I'm excited for the season, man. I can't even imagine what Mike D's nuts is going to be like when the team is winning.
Dude, I have never been more excited for a preseason game tomorrow. I'm like trying to do like a party tomorrow for a preseason game, like preseason game 1, like a watch party with me, you know, me and my kids. So I'm excited, man. I think Rodgers will play a little bit in the preseason. Like you said, it's up to him, you know, couple drives.
I could see it. Yeah, I mean, to me, I think it's going to be similar to what we saw last year. I think that's what they ended up doing.
I'm more excited to see all the young guys, all the unsigned guys, to see what they do tomorrow. Like, I really want to watch all that kind of stuff just to see what these guys can do, like Stiggers and like you said, the defensive line guys. It's gonna be fun. Fun watch.
Yeah, totally agree, man. Totally agree. And we'll be live after it. If you want to call in, let us know how the party goes.
Absolutely will, brother. I love the show. I love the community, man. I hope Bobby's doing well. Happy birthday to everybody. Love you guys. TGIF.
Mike, hope you had a great birthday, man. Thanks for the call.
Salute, brother.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mike D's Nuts. The best. One of one. Kevin says, do you think the rookies play? I think they all play, Kevin. 100%. Rookies always play in the preseason, especially the first game. 100%. I think we definitely see Olu play, Corley. I think we see Stiggers play, Braylon Allen play, Davis play. I think they're all playing. Dan says, Jake Asman merch, as Maniac approved. Yeah, I ordered some more merch for myself last night, too. I was waiting to try on the t-shirt because my body is very weird, all right? I am a medium in the polos. So typically I like the t-shirts to be a little big because, you know, they shrink when they wash. But I ordered a large and it was too big. So I'm a medium in the t-shirt, I found out. And then I ordered a large hoodie because I'm normally a medium, right? Well, the large hoodie fits, it's fine, but I wanted to order an XL to get a feel how that will play. So it's a little bigger. I don't know. Sizes are confusing. Shorts, I'm a medium. Sometimes I'm a large. I'm like always in between sizes. So it's always a pain. But the merch is great. It really is. The quality is awesome. My black polo arrived. I didn't want to order 2 of them when I first opened the store because I wanted to make sure the medium polo fit me perfect, which it did. So then I ordered the black one. And I got this bucket hat that came in last night, which is why I'm wearing it. Look who's watching the show. The great Tyson from Copper John's Beard Company. I'm a huge dude and your shirts fit perfect. Tyson, I saw your live stream the other day. I had some listeners text me that you were rocking the Jake Asman Show hat. So I appreciate it, man. I'm glad you got your swag. Least we could do for all the support, man. I mean, you made my mustache look good with my mustache wax, my beard oils when I've had a beard, which will grow back in 2 days, if that. So I appreciate you. CopperJohnsBeard.com, folks. Promo code Jake20. Support a fellow Jet fan, Jet family-owned business. Aaron says, could we have Thunder and Lightning with BA and BH? Yeah, I mean, they're calling themselves the Killer Bees. I think Braylon Allen is going to have a role in this team. That's going to be a lot more than people realize. Because as much as you want to use Brees all the time, Braylon Allen could play. I think you'll see him in short yardage. I think you'll see him used in a variety of different ways. Ryan writes that I'm a 2XL, but the 3XL t-shirt and 1 wash and dry fits just perfectly. Love it. Glad. Aaron says I'm getting my Asmaniac shirt. Love it. Aaron, if you're going to buy merch and you're not on my Patreon, join the Patreon first, so then you'll get a discount code, and you're basically getting Patreon for free. If anyone's going to buy merch, we have the summer drop that came out already today. The slides are flying off the shelves, by the way. A couple of people ordered shorts too. Doggy bandanas are flying off the shelves. Go quick, especially if you want the doggy bandana. Those are limited. So I want to make sure if you want one for your pet, you get it. But if you're going to buy merch and you're not on Patreon, you're cutting off your nose to spite your face. Hey, big shout out, speaking of Patreon, to Carlos Ramos, who signed up for the Patreon for the entire year. He saved 15% by doing that. Thank you, Carlos. Appreciate your support. Also want to give some love to Eric Ciretti, Nick Zoba, Montgomery Granito, our most recent Patreon subscribers. Thank you guys for signing up. That's no ghost writes in. I'm on a 50K step quest today. Been listening to you all day. 2 shows from yesterday. Thanks for all the content making this way easier. I appreciate that. Thanks for watching. Thanks for watching. Tom A says, Carly's a huge fan of the stash. Who isn't? Exactly, Tom. Dan writes in, can we get a bandana for his pet Gertrude? Can we get a bandana for his pet Gertrude? Maybe we can. Ladies and gentlemen, T-Town Jet has chimed in with the best thing you could do on this show. Pay it forward.
Oh, nice.
Ladies and gentlemen, a membership has been gifted to Matthew Granger. Matthew, welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. J-Quest says Killer Bees is cool. It works. Now, I did radio in Houston for 6 years, and the Killer Bees down there was, Bagwell, Biggio. So I hear that, I think, Astros. But if that works for the Jets, I'm in. Carmen says, hi, Jake, how to turn on gift receipt. Carmen, you figured it out at some point because you are currently a member. So you either did it yourself or you figured out how to do it and someone gifted you a membership. But how do you turn it on? Click right now in the chat at T-Town Jet and hit turn on gift receipts when you click on his little green icon that popped up that said he gifted 1 Jake Asman membership. Duncan says fall and winter merch drop. Yes. The next big thing I want in the store that we're going to work on is going to be quarter zips, logoed quarter zips in it, both Asmaniac and Jake Asman Show logo. All right, last chance to get in here. I'm going to end the show at the 90-minute mark. We're back at 4:30 with Boy Green. Comments, questions, super chats. Cut the line. If you want to call in, there's no one on hold, so you go right to the front of the line. Let's see. Ricky says hit the like. Thank you, Ricky. You're right. Jay Quest wrote this earlier about Garrett. It's a great comment. We knew Garrett was special on his first catch versus the Ravens. We did. We did. Ladies and gentlemen, Rat Diddy with a 5 spot. Let's go, Rat Diddy. Shout out to Rat Diddy. I tagged him on the Discord this morning. He was the first person when the summer drop opened in the merch store to actually go out there and purchase something from the summer items we added this morning. Shout out to you, Rat.
Now, give me money. Or I shoot him. And I shoot all you motherfuckers. And then we take it. Your choice, bitches.
Here we go. 5 names who are now channel members. Elmo's World, SONY17, NYJ92, Marshall Smith, Aaron Daniels. You are all channel members. Consider paying it forward. It's just $5 to gift your fellow Asmaniac 1 channel membership. Dave writes in, Boy Green is one of my favorites. His early AM show, an eye-opener. Boy Green's a one of one, man. Guy gets up every day, says, zoinks, and then goes live and starts streaming his show about the Jets. And when he's not doing that, We know what he's doing.
So we're going to get into all of it here. Again, my name is Paul Eston Jr., a.k.a. Boy Green. I'm the New York Jets digital reporter for Heavy.com. We come 2 hours after every final whistle here for the postgame show. And I'm going to be honest. The only good thing that happened to me late tonight, early this morning, was making sweet, passionate love to my fiance, which I did after the article was written and that kind of stuff. That's the only good thing that happened. Not great. Terrible.
Not great. Not great. Terrible. Now Boy Green has another child on the way. And it was all because Zach Wilson stunk it up against the Chargers on Monday Night Football. Let's see. Rob says, damn, man, I want JQuest 100% to get his membership back before I get mine. But bleep, dude, I want my membership back. Keep working on getting JQuest that membership. Rob V, you want a membership, turn on gift receipts and pray to the Asmaniac gods that someone's going to give you one. Maybe I'll gift you one, Rob V. JC says, Jake, what's up? Are you going to the game tomorrow? I'm not going tomorrow. I'm going to be doing a post-game show immediately after the game, though. Our first of what I hope is either 23 or 24 post-game shows this year. 3 in the preseason, 17 in the regular season. And if the Jets have a bye, it's 3 all the way through the Super Bowl, 4 if they don't. That's what I hope. Ladies and gentlemen, the star of the Rich Eisen show is in the house. Connor Long. Hey, everyone. For those who haven't seen it, Connor called into Rich Eisen's show yesterday, and Rich was blown away by something we already knew on this channel. Connor's football knowledge and how well-spoken he is as a 13-year-old. So that clip was going viral yesterday. I quote tweeted it. If you go on my Twitter, you can watch it. It was awesome. I'm joining Connor's YouTube show today at, let me check my calendar, 2:45 p.m. Eastern time. Love it. Lasso says, favorite props for the Jets this season? Favorite props for the Jets this season? Over on the win total for sure. Over on Breece's rushing yards. Over on Garrett's touchdowns. I got to look at some of the other ones. Those are the 3 that I like, though. I like Aaron Rodgers over on 26.5 touchdowns, too. I think he throws over 30. Ryan says, I just watched the Charles Gorman wrap up from the restaurant. Amazing, LOL. Look, anytime you get a chance to have a celebrity come to one of your events, it's a huge honor, right? Anytime you get a celebrity to come to one of your events and then you get to interview him one-on-one and ask him how he thought the event went, it's just an all-time moment.
We're here with Charles Gorman. Charles, you're about to get into your Uber, which I called for you specifically to leave Don Jose Mexican restaurant. Give us the breakdown on the night. Did you have fun?
I had a good time. People were very nice. The food is good. I'm sorry I couldn't stay for long. My parents wanted me to be home at a certain time. I know I'm a grown-ass man, but their house, their rules. I was just like, if you guys want to, do something like this, I'll try to come to it. Anyways, have a good day and stay healthy and God bless.
Charles, thank you for the time.
You're welcome.
Ladies and gentlemen, there he goes. Charles Gorman, everybody. One of one. A legend of our time. Go Jets. God bless America.
What a moment in time. What a moment. Charles Eugene Gorman, everybody. That's No Ghost says, based on height and weight, what position would Gormani play in the NFL? I can see him being a slot, right? He could be Wayne Corbett, reincarnated. King and Dreams checks in. Gang! Bang! Bang! I played Bang because it's kind of like gang. Carmen says, Jake, is Bobby still on track to come home from the hospital tomorrow? Last I checked in, he was. I have not heard from Bob today. So I hope he's okay. We'll get an update later, though. Cincy Matt with a super chat. Last chance to get in. We're winding down. Just want to point out to Gary that your two best players came from Ohio's two best programs. You're welcome. He's right. Sauce from Cincinnati. Obviously, Garrett from Ohio State. Yeah, two of the best players the Jets have ever drafted from Ohio. Ladies and gentlemen, Mike D's Nuts, who celebrated a birthday yesterday, called in earlier. He's doing what he's known to do. Gift memberships.
Bang! Thank you, Mike D's Nuts, for another gifted membership.
Here we go. The following 5 listeners are officially Asmaniacs. JC, Extinguish the Gullet. Alex, Derek Blaney, We Bama Souls. You are all Asmaniacs. Welcome. Welcome, welcome. Love it. Love to see it. Best listeners. Paying it forward. Let's see. Lasso says, Charles is absolutely hysterical. When he walked in, I kid you not, when he walked in the Don Jose, it was like the Pope arrived. Everyone paying their respects. I mean, everyone chewing. No better way to honor Charles than to chew. You know, Mike Breen said Jalen Brunson is born to play basketball. Charles Gorman was born to chew. Unreal. What a moment. David says, all that time with Charles and no chicken soup recipe. The closest we got to it was Aurora getting it out of him in that sit down. There's still work to be done. ratdiddy says, Jake's voice post Charles interview kills me. I just knew I was in the midst of an all-time moment. Ladies and gentlemen, listener Ira just emailed me. Ira, I will respond to you after the show. He's offering another 2 tickets. Great seats for the preseason game tomorrow. So I have some tickets if you want to go to the game tomorrow. Take a kid. Maybe take someone who's never been. The weather's supposed to be nice. So we'll try and get those in the hands of people who could use them. Ryan says, honestly, this is the best show going. You're the man, Jake. Well, thanks for watching, Ryan. You're a big part of it. All right. We're going to wind down here. I appreciate everyone. We're going to get back after it this afternoon. Preview more of the Commanders game tomorrow. Boy Green will come on. He'll tell us about, the lovemaking he's been doing to get ready for that one. I will ask him, if he's going to come live after the postgame show tomorrow. And in between the game ending and the postgame show and him getting the writing, is he going to do any sweet loving? Because these are the questions that we as Jet fans, we demand answers to. Is Boy Green going to make sweet love to his fiance after writing the, quote, articles and stuff? That's what we need to know. Anyway, please hit the like button. Thank you all for your support. More importantly, if you haven't subscribed yet, I'm convinced you hate me. Because why haven't you? Help me get the 40,000 subs. You guys are the best. Appreciate all the support. Once again, I said it at the top. If you're tuning in late, we had Thomas Morstead on the show yesterday for an excellent interview talking about the new special teams rules, the hype around the team, Rodgers being back, people confusing him for Garrett Wilson, and vice versa. So check that out. Thanks again, everyone, for the support. My name is Jake Asman. I'll talk to you guys around 4:30 Eastern time with Boy Green. Ladies and gentlemen, go Jets. Shout out to everyone who came out to the training camp event Wednesday night in East Hanover, New Jersey.